Hello and welcome to today's 3DQF video. My name's Robert and the topic of conversation today is going to be some new freshly released filaments. So we always like to keep it interesting here at 3DQF, and with almost 50 colours now it is getting difficult to find new ones, but we have done so. We'll discuss some of the new PLA colours today, but we'll also go over some new PETG colours. We'll also explain the difficulties in rolling out a range of colours really quickly and what we're trying to do internally, because some people might want to know why PETG colours aren't being added to the site as quickly as possible. So first off, let's get started with the new PLA colours. So firstly is our new lemon yellow. This adds to our pastel range, which is made up of a pastel purple, a pastel pink, pastel blue and pastel green, and was a pretty requested colour actually, pastel yellow, seeing as we only actually do one yellow in the PLA range. Really is nice, and the pastel range has really taken us by surprise. You could say that the pastel range works well in the home environment and for items that you don't really want to look 3D printed. It blends in really nice on a shelf, whether that's an ornament that you're trying to print or just something that you want to put. It's a very soft colour, if you will, and it works exceptionally well in the home environment when you're trying to not make something stand out as it's 3D printed. So this makes up with the whole pastel range. So now there's a few in that pastel range and they're available on the website now. Next up is vintage copper. Again, a colour that we don't have anything of. It changes colour almost slightly depending on how the light hits it. It must have some mica powder in it to give it almost pearlescent look to it. We are doing a brighter version of this as well. So we're going to have two coppers on the marketplace. But a lovely colour. If you're trying to add an element of luxury to your item that you're printing, then this definitely does give you that effect. So that is our new vintage copper. Next up is Nude. We haven't done a nude, but been asked for it. It's been on our leaderboard of colours for so long. So to finally bring Nude to the market is really good. Now, this is not to be confused with Naked. Naked is our completely clear or transparent PLA filament with no colour in it, hence the word naked. This is Nude, which is effectively a peach colour. Moving on to PETG, this is our new Motorsport Green. Now, although named differently, this effectively is British Racing Green, but for a leaning process internally, so that no mistakes are made during packaging and dispatching, we do name the colours differently. This is just so it highlights it at the time of order that it's not British Racing Green PLA, and it means that packing and dispatch don't make a mistake. Effectively, those are the reasons why we change all the colour names, but we try to use the same colouring across all the ranges, whether that's PLA, PLA Plus, ABS, or now in this case, PETG. Next up is Pumpkin Orange. This is Tangy Orange in PLA. Now, however, when this colouring is put into PETG, it is slightly darker. I'd actually say Pumpkin Orange is probably a more true reflection if you're trying to describe the actual colour. It is a little bit darker. It is quite interesting that some of the colours do present differently in different materials. Sometimes that makes sense. So on ABS, for instance, it's a white-based material. So you generally find that it softens the colour, makes it more pastel-y, if you will. The colour is not quite as vibrant in some instances. You get almost a whiteness to it. In PLA is a pretty translucent material with a yellowy tinge, so you can sometimes find that that affects white slightly. But broadly, it colours really nicely because it's clear. PETG is effectively crystal clear. It comes out like little crystals. That's what you would think you're holding diamonds, if you will, in your hand. So it's unusual that it has a darkening effect on a number of the colours. We'll try and figure out why that is, and probably as we refine our colouring, we'll be able to solve those issues. But yeah, it is unusual. It's just something that we've noticed during the production of it. So next up is Hickory Brown, or in PLA it's Hickory Brown, in PETG it's Mahogany. So this is a really dark chocolate brown, brilliant for those real dark, if you're trying to do a block of chocolate, for instance, this is absolutely perfect for that. So that's the new Mahogany Brown on PETG. And then last but not least is our Canary Yellow. This is Brick Road Yellow, but obviously in PETG, this is our Canary Yellow. Slightly darker than the PLA variant, very similar to the pumpkin orange. So in the pipeline, some of you will know that we're working on glitters. We have done a number of glitters and we plan to do a range of around about 5 in total. We've done a aqua glitter, which is a very sparkly blue. We've also done a black, and we plan to do a grey, white and daisy pink in the glitter as well. So those colours haven't been manufactured yet, but the aqua and the black have, and we're just doing testing on those now to make sure that we get our mixture correct in terms of the loading and that it flows perfectly. Testing is going really, really well. And part of the reason for the delay, as this was made earlier in the year, was just to underpin the testing. Whenever you put a filled product into something, so in this case it's glitter, you always have the possibility of blockages. We want to rule out that as much as possible. Generally speaking, an internal policy for us is the product should be able to print with a 0.4 nozzle, but at a certain stage it's always going to block a 0.4 nozzle. So what we try and do is underpin as much as we can with a 0.4, knowing that a blockage is going to happen. Then we move up to a 0.6, it makes that whole fact-finding experience a lot simpler because we've really found a material that's sort of 75% of the time worked on a 0.4, so that when our recommendation for all filled products that leave 3DQF is a 0.6, we've created a margin of safety for that product. We are working on a couple other new colours, as always. We are always working and looking to try and get a matte effect and a silk effect filament, so hopefully watch this space and we will eventually solve that problem as well. So that's about enough for now. Thank you very much for coming along and seeing this video and some new products. We'll be doing more content like this. And if you have any questions or any requests, drop them down in the comment below. So once again, thank you for coming along. And most importantly, guys, keep on printing. Thank you.